When you align your work with your values, the results are so much more meaningful and rewarding. Embrace the challenges and opportunities, but also celebrate the milestone and achievements along the way.
Welcome aboard. This is How My Journey Started, a podcast series showcasing inspiring stories from RMIT alumni as they navigate the career pathways and make an impact around the world. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hi everyone, this season we're celebrating 25 years of RMIT in Vietnam by sharing inspiring stories from alumni who've built successful international career. I'm Linh Tran, your host, and I'm so excited to be here to share with you all the stories of ambition, resilience, and growth. Today joining us is Paul Huỳnh, Global People Chief Operating Officer of KPMG International. He's an outstanding alumnus of RMIT Vietnam. He's completed his executive MBA in 2015. And also, he's an inspiring leader with over 20 years of experience across Australia, Singapore, Vietnam, and eventually the United Kingdom. So, Paul, nice to have you here in our podcast today.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn. Well, firstly, thanks for having me on the podcast. Really honored to be part of this series. And also welcome to London to you. I understand it's your first time. How are you finding it?
Yeah, it's been great so far. So it's my first time in London. I think I've been working way more than I did back in Vietnam. A few weeks ago, I joined a TED event with the Vietnamese overseas. So I had a lot of interesting conversations with my friends there. One of the girls was actually an intern at KPMG, and she was like interested about finance. So we chat a little bit about careers. So I would appreciate any kind of advice you have for a newcomer like me.
Well, it sounds like you're already, making great strides even in just your first couple of weeks in London, which is fantastic.
So, Paul, your career journey has taken you across the world from Vietnam, Singapore, Australia, and the United Kingdom, with a big shift from HR to finance and leadership roles. Can you share a little bit about how it all started out and how it has led you to where you are today?
So my journey actually started slightly different. Initially, when I went to university, I actually first did a degree in IT, but quickly realized that I wasn't happy. I was skipping my classes and not doing really well. And very quickly, I decided to change my degree to business studies with a major in human resource management. I knew quite early on that my passion was around working with people, communicating with people, understanding people. And so that really was the start, I think, of my career in human resources. And then in 2007, I made the exciting move from Australia to Vietnam after having worked for a few years in Australia. And, I think part of that was to discover my roots and my heritage, but also for me, really starting to build that kind of international career was something that was really exciting for me. And I was really fortunate to have the opportunity to work for KPMG in Vietnam and Cambodia, where I was leading the people performance and culture function. After working with KPMG for a couple of years, then in 2012, I made the decision to enroll in RMIT Vietnam's executive MBA program. A few of my friends had already graduated and they had told me how fantastic the program was. They really loved the practical element, of the program, really the opportunity to really build my strategic mindset, boardroom presence, working with C-suite executives was also something that I was really able to cultivate and learn as part of my RMIT journey. And so I graduated, as you say, in 2015. Fast forward to just 3 years ago when I was appointed as KPMG's Global People COO, relocating to London and serving the entire network, so all 145 countries. And I really reflect back on that decision that I made to return back to Vietnam, but also to complete my EMBA with RMIT Vietnam. And it's been such a gratifying full circle moment for me to look back and just think about how those decisions have really helped to shape and build my career. And just being able to be on this podcast now with you Lynn, to really celebrate RMIT's 25-year journey is also really special and rewarding. And I'm just really grateful, I think, for the experience, the learning, the networks that I gained along the way. And I think it's really helped to shape my career and helped to build the successful career that I've had today.
It's very nice to hear how RMIT fits to the overall picture of your professional and also personal growth. I think I really like the point about practical education. I think the practical side of education is sometimes not just about applying theories to practice. It's also about cultivating and honing the transferable skills along the way. I think at those moments, I realized how important it is to have all the experience at RMIT. So you have like over 20 years of experience in your field. I also wonder, is there any moments that you feel especially proud of your efforts in the area? And how has it shaped your leadership?
Thanks, Lynn. I mean, if I think about the memories and the accomplishments that I'm most proud of, there are so many. The one example that really comes to mind for me is when we first launched the Pride at KPMG LGBTQ plus network in Vietnam and Cambodia. I worked really closely with the chairman and CEO, but also with a number of internal and external kind of leaders on that initiative. And, at the time in Vietnam, it was something that was not really talked about. And so we were one of the first organizations to really stand up and talk about the importance of inclusion and diversity within the workplace. And, as a result of that, we were able to build a really strong internal employee network, but also equally, we were able to also partner with both the international missions and the consulates, and also with a number of clients and leading Vietnamese and multinational companies in really promoting and fostering that inclusive workplace. And so when I think back on that particular example, I feel really humbled, and I feel really excited about the success that we had and the success of that initiative. I think beyond the success of the initiative itself, when I reflect back, what makes me most proud, I think, is when I think about the power of collaboration, when I think about the role that every single one of us played to make that initiative a success. And then also, I think the opportunity for us to really use our platform to create an environment, where everyone can really thrive and succeed is something that fills me with a lot of, gratification.
Thank you very much for sharing. So I'm very impressed with the value creation mindset. I think it's not only for experienced leaders, it's also important for students and freshers too. So you've mentioned a lot about staying true to your values and bringing that kind of values to the work that you do. Can you share a little bit about the guiding principles behind it and how have it shaped your career journey?
I think you're absolutely right, Lynn. It doesn't matter if you're a leader or a team member or your employee or what level you are within the organization. I think for me, as part of my journey, the two important things that have really helped to guide me is, as you say, the importance of adding value in whatever job or whatever role you're performing, is looking for the opportunity to really create impact and looking for outputs that are, win-win for everyone, I think is incredibly important. But equally, as you say, I found it also really important that you need to stay true to your core values as well. And so it's also about how you treat people, how you inspire others, and how you bring along your team members on that journey with you so that they feel motivated as well. And so that's why organizational culture is so important. And when you're able to align your work with the right culture, the right purpose, and your values, I think that's when you can really succeed and thrive within work, but also outside of work as well. And that's a mindset and a guiding principle that I've really tried to stay true to right throughout my career journey.
That's amazing. I think I really resonate with the point about the organizational culture. I think the work is just not the task itself, it also the experience and the learning curve that you get exposed to that can help you hone your learnings and become a better version of yourself. So, as you know, this podcast is all about celebrating global opportunities available to students from RMIT especially. So, do you have any advice for students who are embarking on an international journey, whether it be an exchange like me or it's a professional career journey?
Yeah, thanks, Lynn. My advice for really students and anyone embarking on a new adventure would be firstly to embrace, new challenges and take risks. You never know where those risks are going to take you, from Australia to Vietnam to London, for example. The second one is something that you're already doing, which is to build your networks. I think the importance of building those relationships are so important, and you never know where those networks and those relationships will take you, whether it be 1 year, 5 years, or even 10 years down the track. A lot of the networks that I built during my time at RMIT, completing my MBA, still serve me well and are still strong foundations for me, even to this day. The third thing I would say would be to learn from your challenges. There are going to be setbacks along the way, and it's really understanding the learnings that you gain from those setbacks. I think that will really allow you that opportunity to further grow. And finally, enjoy every step of the journey. Say yes to all those small opportunities. As I mentioned, learn from your setbacks and failures, but also celebrate those milestone and achievements that you make along the way. All of those, I think, will lead to a really rich and rewarding journey. And it's then that you'll be able to look back feeling really proud and grateful for the resilience and the growth that you gained along the journey.
Thank you. That's very comprehensive. Folks, please jot this out if you're listening. I think it would be very helpful for each one of us. I have this one last question, and I find it very interesting because it has a little bit introspective vibe to it. So, if you can travel back in time, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I would say, first of all, embrace that uncertainty. I think life throws many different things at you along the way. And so just don't be afraid of the unknown and be courageous. The second thing I would say was to surround yourself with diverse people. That will really help to broaden your perspectives. It will help to enrich, I think, the lens that you see, projects and teamwork and collaboration, but also it will help you to be a stronger leader. And the third thing I would say is that everyone has a role to play in a project, in a team, or within an organization. Everyone's voice matters. And it's when you're able to really come together as a collective, that's when you can really move mountains. That's when you can really make an impact. And that's when the magic really happens.
Thank you, Paul. That's very sweet and meaningful to me. To everyone who's listening, just remember that your journey is yours to decide. Understanding your value, using it as your compass, and never stop yearning. I believe it would be the key to success in any endeavor that you're making. And that's also a point that wraps it up nicely today. Thank you so much for joining us, Paul. I hope that you guys find yourself somewhere along the line of Paul's stories and can pick up some of the bite-sized takeaways that can inspire you and help you figure out your next steps on your own professional and personal growth.
Thank you, Lynn. And congratulations, RMIT, on 25 years.
Thank you for joining us on this special season of How My Journey Started, celebrating 25 years of RMIT in Vietnam. As we approach our next stop, remember that every journey starts with a single step, and your journey is uniquely yours to create. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us next time as we have more inspiring stories to tell from RMIT alumni across the world.